if the Browns don't take a quarterback at number 2, and we'll get to your mock draft, your most recent one here in a minute, what's the next most realistic round or possibility that they do take a quarterback?
I, Now, I don't have any inside information in terms of this particular statement I'm about to make. And that is just, I feel like it revolves around pick 33. I don't necessarily think it's going to be pick 33. I think it could be a trade up situation. And I, of course, we'll talk about that with the mock draft. But I think somewhere around there, I don't think they're going to mess around and try to get cute and be like, well, maybe I can get Will Howard at 67 or Kyle McCord at 94 or something like that. I think right now, Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson are the only ones on the board. If you're not going to take one at 2, and I understand that, I'd rather take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter because if Cam Ward's off the board, because I don't have any other quarterbacks rated that high. But getting somebody in the 20s or at 33, like Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, one of those particular players, that just that's just in my gut feeling on how I think this thing is going to play out.
So, relative to how you have them rated, where do you have Sanders? Where do you have Dart? Where do you have Mill? Obviously, Ward's number 1. How close are those next group of guys with what you've done rating wise?
So I got Sanders at 24 right now. I'm getting ready to update my big board. It'll come an updated top 150. I've only got a top 100 out, but I'm going to push it to a top 150. That'll come out for the OBR probably next week, hopefully, if I can get the time to get that knocked out. Sanders is in the 20s. Milrow checks in the low 50s, and then Dart and Howard are there in the 60s. But the thing to keep in mind for me, looking at this, I was talking to somebody on the OBR forum the other day about this. There's not a lot of star power at the top of this board, but the middle group of this group, like picks, like rounds 2 through 5, and like picks 2 through 8, or I'm sorry, 20 through 80, those prospects are not separated by that much. Like if you were on a grading scale, you might have pick 20 at like an 80, and then pick 80 might actually be at like a 71. It's not, this is a very depth oriented class. So once you get past that first group, I do not have Sanders, and I have Sanders, Milrow, Howard, Dart, and they are not separated by that much at all. I don't see them very much differently. I all see them as kind of day 2 guys on my board.